Okay, we discussed that there are three types of bonding. Okay, elements bond to complete their shells. Okay, to become stable, to get stability. And there are three ways in which they get stability. First way is either they can transfer the electron from one atom to the other. That's ionic bonding. Okay, the second is that the second type of bonding is sharing of electrons. They can share the electrons with each other, that is covalent bonding. And the third type of bonding is metallic bonding, okay, in which the metals lose their electrons. They will not give electrons to anything, but they will just lose their electrons. Okay, that will be our third chapter that we'll study. So this is covalent bonding, page 84. Let's start it.
Teacher, can you please repeat the page number?
84, beta. It's written on the slide also, 84. Okay, so covalent bond is when the non-metals react with non-metals. Okay, so covalent bond is between non-metals. Between non-metals, so remember this. For the ionic bonding in the previous chapter, we studied that ionic bonding is between metals and non-metals, right?
Yes.
Okay, metals and non-metals. So metals lose the electron and non-metals, they accept the electron. And in that case, metals get positive charge and non-metals get negative charge. Okay, so this was the ionic bonding. Covalent bonding is completely different from it, because first thing is it is between non-metals. Okay, number two, there is no transfer of electrons. No transfer of electrons. So none of it will give and none of the element will receive. Number three, there is
Yes.
sharing of electrons. Okay, so there will be sharing of electrons between non-metals. So in this way, both of them can get the electron. Like for example, we have hydrogen with one electron, okay, in the first shell. So how many electrons it need to complete its first shell? How many electrons can come in the first shell?
Um, one.
In first shell, maximum
Two.
electrons.
Two. Two.
Yeah, very good. 2 electrons. Maximum 2 electrons can come in the first shell. So if something has 2 electrons in the first shell, then it means that the first shell is stable. Okay, so hydrogen has only 1 electron. It's the simplest element of the periodic table. So it needs one more electron to get completed. Okay, so what will happen here? One more hydrogen will come. Okay, so there will be one more hydrogen. It will come close. Their shells will overlap like this. Okay, their shells will overlap and they will share the electrons. So 1 electron for hydrogen number 1. For first hydrogen, this is the electron. For second hydrogen, its electron is here. Okay, they will overlap the shell and they will share the electron. The hydrogen number 1 is also sharing its electron and hydrogen 2 is also sharing its electrons. So in this way you can see that hydrogen 1 is also complete with 2 electrons and hydrogen 2 is also complete with 2 electrons. Both of them will get 2 electrons and that's how they can get stability. This is covalent bond.
Miss, can you explain again?
Yeah. In covalent bond, to complete their shells, the non-metals, they come close. Okay, their shells overlap, and they share the electrons with each other. So if hydrogen 1 is sharing 1 electron, hydrogen 2 will also share its 1 electron, and both of them will get 2 electrons in that case.
Miss, how if hydrogen one gives? Okay, I understand now.
Yeah, means it's sharing, na, that it's like that one, if you need something, like for example, if a person has a pencil, okay, the second person also have a pencil, okay, and eraser also, and this person also needs an eraser, so they will share the eraser. So in that case, both of them will have pencil and an eraser. Okay, so they will share the thing. So similarly, these elements also, to complete their shells, they will share, they will not transfer. Okay, because if hydrogen number 2 gives its electron, then hydrogen number 2 will become empty. Okay, and we don't want that, we don't want any
Yes, Miss.
accidentally empty, so they will just come close and they will share their electrons with each other. We will do more examples also, so it will be clear to you. Okay, let's see what's written in the book. Who will read?
Teacher, can I read?
Yeah, but read slowly, okay?
Okay, Miss. In the last chapter, we saw how metals bond with non-metals.
Okay, start
Remember
reading.
that. Yes, Miss. In the last chapter, we saw how
She's reading too slow.
metals bond. Remember that metal atoms need to lose electrons and non-metals need to gain electrons. However, many compounds are made up of only non-metals. For example, you will meet a group of compounds called hydrocarbons in chapter 15. These compounds contain only the two nonmetals, carbon and hydrogen. Both carbon and hydrogen atoms need to gain electrons. So, how do their atoms bond to each other? How can they both gain electrons to get electronic structure of a noble gas? It can't be like ionic bonding because there's no metal atom to give away electrons. Two non-metal atoms can both gain electrons by sharing. If their outer shells overlap, they share pairs of electrons. In this way, both atoms can gain electrons. Shared pairs of electrons from covalent bonds between non-metal atoms.
Thank you. Okay, in the last chapter, we saw how metals bond with non-metals. Okay, metals bond with non-metals in ionic bonding. Remember that metal atoms need to lose electrons and non-metals need to gain electrons. However, many compounds are made of only non-metals. Okay, like hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule, chlorine molecule, carbon dioxide, they have only non-metals present in them. No metal is present. Okay. For example, you will meet a group of compounds called hydrocarbons. These compounds only contain two nonmetals, carbon and hydrogen. Okay, this hydrocarbon, this group is really important. Okay, I'll tell you what is hydrocarbon. Question with me, hydrocarbons, okay, or hydrocarbon. A hydrocarbon, as you can see from the from here in the paragraph also it's written that these compounds contain only two non-metals, carbon and hydrogen. So hydrocarbons, they are the compounds containing only carbon and hydrogen. Okay, so you can see that carbon and hydrogen, both of them are non-metals. Okay, carbon is a non-metal and hydrogen is also a non-metal. So this is a group of compounds. So there are lots of compounds containing only carbon and hydrogen. So later in grade 7, you have a complete chapter of hydrocarbon. I think it's in second term. Okay, so where you will study the compounds containing only carbon and hydrogen. So they are non-metals, and in between these non-metals there is covalent bonding. Okay, so they share the electrons with each other to complete their shells. Both carbon and hydrogen atoms need to gain electrons. So how do their atoms bond with each other, bond to each other? How can they both gain electrons to get the electronic structure of a noble gas? How? Both of them will share. Okay, so the answer of this question is how they can get stability, or how both of them can gain electrons, because there is no one to give the electron, but both of them bonds. So they will share. Okay, both of them bond the electron. They will share the electron. It can't be like ionic bonding because there is no metal atom to give away electrons. Two non-metal atoms can both gain electrons by sharing. Okay, they both can get stability by sharing the electrons. So this is covalent bonding. If their outer shells overlap, okay, like I told you in hydrogen, that they will come close together and their shells overlap with each other. They share pair of electrons. In this way, both atoms can gain electrons. Shared pair of electrons form covalent bond between non-metals. Shared pair of electrons. So this pair of electrons which is shared, okay, this one, this is known as shared pair of electrons. Okay, so it has a name, shared pair of electrons. Okay, so if it comes to write that to define what is shared pair of electrons, so you can write that in covalent bonding, the electrons, the pair of electrons which is being shared between two non-metals, that is shared pair of electron. Okay, are you with me?
Yes, miss.
Any problem? Any question?
No, miss.
Okay, so let's move on. Okay, before doing the example which is present in the book, before doing that, I will do some simple examples with you. Okay, to make it more clear. So, for example, we have hydrogen gas. Okay, so if for example in paper it comes to draw the covalent bonded picture of hydrogen gas. Okay, or dot and cross diagram of hydrogen gas. So, how you will draw dot and cross diagram for hydrogen gas? Okay, because previously you used covalent bonding. For a molecule, you can easily guess that whether there will be covalent bond or ionic bond. Okay, because if there is a metal and a non-metal, so it means it is, which bond is present?
Teacher, can you repeat your question?
Teacher, ionic bond.
Yeah, my question is that in the paper, if it comes to dot and cross diagram of any element, of any molecule or a compound, okay, so you have to first guess that whether there will be ionic bond in it or covalent bond. Okay, so to guess it, first you will see that whether if it is a metal, if it's a bond between metal and a non-metal, so there will be ionic bond in it. So you will draw dot and cross diagram for ionic bonding. Okay, and if it is, if the molecule is between non-metals, okay, only non-metals are present. So it means that there will be covalent bonding. Okay, and you will draw the dot and cross diagram for covalent bond. Okay, so let's see how you will draw. This is for hydrogen molecule H2, and you can see that there are two hydrogen atoms and both of them are non-metal. So there will be covalent bond in it. Fine.
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay, so same thing, you will write hydrogen has one electron, so its configuration will be 1. Okay, the other hydrogen also has one electron, so its configuration is also 1. Both the hydrogens need one electron to get completed. Okay, so they will share one electron. Point to be noted that the electrons, number one point is electrons needed is equal to the electron or electrons shared. Okay, please note down this point. It will help you in diagram making whenever you make a diagram. Okay, electrons needed is equal to electrons shared. Okay, it means that if any element needs one electron to get completed, it will share also one electron. Okay, if any element needs two electrons to get completed, then it will share two electrons. If it needs three electrons to get completed, it will share three electrons. Got it? And point number 2 is number of electron or electrons one nonmetal is sharing, okay, will be equal to the number of electrons other nonmetal share. Okay, means the two elements will share the same number of electrons. If one element is sharing one electron, then the other element will also share one electron. Okay, so this is a rule for, these are two rules for ionic bond, for covalent bonding. Whenever you make a picture, you have to keep these two things in mind. Okay, please note these 2 points, note them down, everyone. They are really important. Okay, if you're not writing anything, please move your hand.
Miss, what did you write in the second point? No of electron. Then what did you write?
Number of.
Number of electron one non-metal is sharing is equal to number of electrons the other metal will share. Okay, means the elements will share the same number of electrons with each other. Okay, we will do the examples. So first do it for let's do it for hydrogen. It's very simple. Hydrogen, both of the hydrogens need one electrons, so they will come close together and their shells will overlap. Okay, you will draw the diagram like this and indicate the electrons of one element with plus, with cross, and one element with dot, like you used to do in ionic bonding. Okay, so their shells will overlap of two elements, two hydrogens. Okay, now point number 1 is that electrons needed is equal to electrons shared. So hydrogen need one electron, so it will share also one electron. So you will write the electron in here, okay, in the overlap area. So it needs one electron, so it will share that one electron. Okay, it's sharing.
Understood.
Now point number two is number of electron one non-metal is sharing is equal to number of electrons the other non-metal will share. Okay, so if this first hydrogen is sharing one electron, so the second hydrogen will also share its one electron. Okay, and you can make these electrons in the shared area. Yeah, I'll highlight it also.
Okay, miss.
This is the shared area. So you will make the shared electrons in this area, okay, where the shells are overlapping. Got it? This is the simple dot and cross diagram for H2, okay, hydrogen molecule H2. Okay, and there is a special way to write the covalent bonding, that hydrogen bond, you will write the dash in between and then hydrogen, one more. Okay, hydrogen dash hydrogen. This dash is representing covalent bond. Okay, this is also a way to write H2. Okay. And later on, I will tell you about ball and stick diagram also. There is ball and stick diagram too for covalent bonding. Okay, it's very simple. I'll tell you in the other diagram, in the other example. Is this example clear?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. I'm doing the second example. Okay, and please keep these 2 points in mind. Okay, the 2 points which I told you. The second example that we're going to do is hydrogen chloride. Okay, these examples are simple examples and they are not in the book. Okay, in the book there is direct example, directly they have given you the example of methane. Okay, so before doing the methane example, do these some simple examples. Okay, to make it clear. So this is hydrogen chloride. Okay, hydrogen chloride, first you will guess that hydrogen and chlorine are both of them non-metals or one metal, one non-metal. You will see the periodic table. Hydrogen is a non-metal. And what about chlorine?
Chlorine is also a non-metal.
Yes, Miss. Chlorine is also non-metal.
Yes, chlorine is present in group 7. Very good. Chlorine is also a non-metal. So it means there will be covalent bonding in between them. Okay. There is one hydrogen and one chlorine, as you can see from the formula. One hydrogen and one chlorine. So hydrogen, it has only one electron. So its electronic configuration is 1. It needs one electron to complete. Okay. Chlorine has total 17 electrons. And its configuration will be 2, 8, and 7.
7.
Yeah, so to complete the third shell, chlorine also needs 1 electron. Okay, both of them need one electron.
So they're gonna share 1 electron with each other.
Okay, so hydrogen, how we will draw the dot and cross diagram now. Hydrogen is smaller in size, so usually we draw hydrogen small and chlorine big. Okay, so this is hydrogen and chlorine like this. Okay, and
it's so hard to make the circles perfect.
Practice, beta. For these circles, okay, don't make them edge shaped or something like a stone or something, cloud. Okay, use proper circle, like you can use a compass or a bottle cap or something to make the circles. Okay, in exams and tests.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Now we made the shells, the overlap area also. This is the overlap area. Now, what is point number 1? Did you note it down? What was it?
Yes, Miss. Electrons needed equals to electrons shared. So 1 electron is going to be needed and it's going to share.
Yeah. So hydrogen needs 1 electron and chlorine also needs 1 electron. Okay. We are only drawing the outermost shell. The inner shells are already complete, so no need to draw them. Okay. We are only making the outer shell. So in outer shell of hydrogen, there is only 1 electron which it will share. So we will make the electron here in the middle area like this. Okay. And the second point is that the number of electrons
Are non-metals is sharing.
Yeah, number of electrons one element is sharing is equal to the number of electrons other element is sharing. Okay, so both will share same number of electrons. So if hydrogen, according to its need, if hydrogen is sharing 1 electron, chlorine will also share 1. And also we can see that chlorine also needs 1 electron, so it will share that 1. Okay.
Understood.
So hydrogen needs 1 electron, so it shares 1 electron. Chlorine needs 1 electron, so out of 7 electrons which are present in the outermost shell of chlorine, it will share 1 electron with hydrogen. Okay, and rest of the 6 electrons would be outside.
So teacher, basically covalent bonding happens between only nonmetals.
Yeah, between only nonmetals.
Okay.
Okay, now see that hydrogen is complete with 2 electrons, right? With 2 electrons, and chlorine is also complete with 8 electrons, because 7 electrons were already present in chlorine and 1 electron of hydrogen, which hydrogen shared. Okay, so both of these elements are stable now. Okay, this is hydrogen chloride. We will write it like this: H dash chlorine. Okay, this is also a way to write covalent bonding or to represent. So if you write like this somewhere H and Cl, H dash Cl, so it means it's clear that there is covalent bond, single covalent bond between them. Okay, and this is known as shared pair of electrons. Okay, the pair which they are sharing, shared pair of electrons. Okay, and these pairs which are present in chlorine, which are not shared. Okay, the 3 pair of electrons which are not being shared, these 3 are known as lone pair of electrons. Okay, lone pair of electrons because they are not shared. So how many lone pairs are there in chlorine?
6.
Pairs. How many pairs?
Or pairs? 3.
Yes,
4.
very good.
4, miss.
No,
Isn't
3
it
lone
4?
pairs. One is shared pair.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Okay, the pair which is being shared between hydrogen and chlorine, that is shared pair of electrons. Rest of the 3 which are not shared, they are called lone pair of electrons. Okay, and there is one more way to draw it. It's known as ball and stick diagram. Ball and stick diagram. That is also for covalent bonding. Ball and stick diagram. It's very simple. You will draw one ball of hydrogen, the other ball slightly big of chlorine. Okay, and then you will draw one line in between. Okay, very simple. It's like a dumbbell. The exercise dumbbells. Okay, but one small and one big. So small one is hydrogen and the big one is chlorine. This is ball and stick diagram. Okay, if later on you will be, if you are confused in any question or anything, you can see this recording again. Okay, my explanation. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes.
Can you please just re-explain the ball and stick diagram? I still didn't understand it.
Yeah, ball and stick diagram is really simple. You will indicate the ball will be the non-metals. Okay, whatever non-metals you will use, you will just make balls for them. Okay, to represent the non-metals. And stick will represent the bond. Okay, the bond between them. So you will make 2 balls, one for hydrogen, other for chlorine. Okay, we will make one small because hydrogen is small in size and chlorine is big atom. Okay, so hydrogen, chlorine, and in the middle there will be stick. Simple. Okay, we will just write H in hydrogen and chlorine with the other one. Okay, so please in your free time try to make these 2 diagrams of hydrogen gas and hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, and in the next class inshallah we will do the methane example which is in your book on page 84.
Miss, can you please go to the other slide because I just want to copy the ball and stick diagram.
Which one? HCl?
Yes, Miss, the ball and stick diagram. Just give me a minute.
Okay. Okay, beta, you can go. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Business.
The girls also
Allah
online
Hafiz,
class
teacher.
can also leave. Allah Hafiz. I'll see you in the next class.
Okay, I'm done, teacher. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Beta.
Allah Hafiz, teacher. Have a nice day.
Same to you.